Planet X. When will the Earth changes begin? I have one Planet X video with over 600,000 views as of this date, the 17th of November, 2012. And many people from all over the world are asking me, when will Planet X arrive? They think this is an airplane. Or when will the Earth changes take place? It is clear that they don't understand the math in an acceleration curve. Gravity and magnetism act as a function of the square of the distance. So the closer Planet X gets to the Earth, the greater the effects here. They grow exponentially. The closer your magnet gets to my magnet, the more reaction you're going to see between our magnets. The reaction grows virally, as you might say. And if there is a Planet X, and if it is in our solar system, someone must have noticed that the perturbations of the planets were growing exponentially, and that told them that something is out there and they better start looking for it. They looked with regular telescopes and saw nothing. Then someone said, "You know, most of what's out there is not in our visible spectrum. It's infrared, far infrared, microwaves, radio waves, with ultraviolet, gamma rays, and X-rays at the other end of the spectrum. Why don't we look in the wavelengths that are not visible?" And someone else said, "Oh, that's a good idea." Do you see this tiny rainbow just to the right of center? That's all we can see of the entire electromagnetic spectrum. The rest is invisible to our eyes. As you can see, almost all of it is invisible to us. So many people say, if Planet X is real, why can't I see it? The answer is, because most of what's out there is not visible to you. The universe was not designed for you. You're only privy to a very tiny sliver of what's out there. These people who ask, if Planet X is real, why can't we see it? They're ignorant to the science of the electromagnetic spectrum. Do you remember IRAS? I-R-A-S. It means infrared astronomical satellite. It doesn't say visible wavelength satellite. That satellite was designed to look in the infrared, hot things. The South Pole telescope wasn't built to see in the narrow visible band spectrum. It sees in the far infrared and the microwave wavelengths, so that hot objects coming in are visible. Of the electromagnetic spectrum down first, then we can move on to other aspects for greater understanding of them. Gravity is expected from any object that's 4 to 5 times the size of Earth. And that doesn't mean 4 to 5 times the size of Jupiter. Jupiter is a gigantic planet, and Planet X is not 5 times the size of Jupiter. When I get comments from people who say that Planet X is 5 times the size of Jupiter, I delete their comment. Look at this picture. Look how tiny the Earth is compared to Jupiter. Now imagine something 5 times the size of Jupiter. This is crazy. This planet is only 4 to 5 times the size of Earth. It has 23 times the mass. Where did I get that? Zeta Talk. So I delete the comment. I don't want my viewers reading such nonsense from speculators who haven't a clue about science. What I have read from the Zeta Talk webpage, which I consider the most reliable of all on this very important subject. Even though they had a problem back in 2003 and they did something wrong, I agree, but I don't want to hear any more comments about that. I know about it. But they said that Planet X has a mass of 23 times that of Earth, and that it's only 4 to 5 times the size of Earth. And since they are so reliable, I'm going with them. They've made many predictions, and I have confidence in their prognostications. But 4 to 5 times the size of Earth is large enough to have an effect on the Sun, other planets, and all rocks in the asteroid belt. It can also pull rocks from the Kuiper belt and the Oort cloud as it sweeps past Pluto, if it goes out that far, But we don't know much because the government doesn't tell us much. They take our money, they use it to do research, and then they don't share the research with us. And I think this is wrong. If we pay the money, we have a right to that information, and nobody should have the power to keep it from us. Yet that's what they're doing, because they're trying to protect their businesses. Well, what they're doing is they're putting all those people on the coast at great risk of peril. But if those people moved, they would put other people in peril. You can't move 214 million people from the coast and expect everything to work out. It just can't happen. There's no possibility of moving that many people this quickly. So they keep us in the dark. Okay, I accept that. Now, is there a Planet X? I don't know, because they don't tell us. I have held back my commitment on the existence of Planet X. Yet people tell me that I gave them a date. I never gave them any date. They're threatening to come back the day after that date and humiliate me. Well, I haven't given a date. I haven't even given a commitment on whether there is a Planet X or not. And I would like to make up my own mind. I don't want someone pushing me off a cliff. It might exist, and the evidence is very, very strong and growing stronger every day. But until I see it in the sky with my own eyes, I'm going to continue to collect my facts, the testimonies that are out there from those who are leaking the truth, and I'm going to sort out the government lies and propaganda that misleads so many of the scientifically challenged. I am not scientifically challenged. I was pre-med at UCLA in the 1980s. I know what I'm talking about. Yet I surrender to those who know more. This is not about ego. This is about truth. There are some people who have gone much farther than I have in school, in science, and in the study of Planet X. Some of them have degrees in astrophysics. But I noticed that there's a trend that those who know the most are getting killed. Shoemaker is dead. Harrington is dead. And that Japanese guy that was in Chile, I forgot his name, Morita, I think his name is. Kishiro Morita or something like that. He's dead. And all of these deaths are mysterious circumstances. When you dig deep into the facts, you find out that those who have the most knowledge are being killed. I think it's murder. And if astrophysicists don't want to speak out, it might be they want to continue living. So don't write to me and tell me that if this was true, that astrophysicists would be speaking out and astronomers. I believe you don't know enough. And I believe you need to do some more research to find out what happened to these leaders in science. Shoemaker was a very important guy in Planet X, and I understand that he was about to make an announcement when he was killed, and that his office was ransacked, and his stuff was stolen. Now, if this is true, then it's pointing a finger towards some entity that wants to keep this under wraps. I know for a fact that all our beliefs are wrong. So I'm very careful about jumping onto what I call a wagon train of belief. Wagon train is to me like a belief system. You jump on that wagon train and you ride with them. Well, where does that lead? To a bunch of Indians who attack? Well, I don't want to get on any wagon train. I want to remain independent. If all beliefs of the past have been wrong, 100% of the time, that means don't believe in anything, just collect your facts. And if any scientist thinks he knows, I will assure you he doesn't know. He may know more than other people, and he may have good grounds for his beliefs. But the truth is, he doesn't know diddly squat when you compare his knowledge to that of aliens. And the Zetas are here. They have high IQs. They've made a lot of accurate predictions, and they're pretty interesting people. Can I call them people? Scientists of Earth know nothing, and the Zetas are always telling us that our scientists are wrong about this and that, and I think they're right. Now, do you mind if I go with the ones who are proven successful? You go with anybody you want. I'm going with the aliens. God, I'd like to have a ride in their ship. Anyway, the scientists of Earth have learned from the schools of Earth, and those schools are designed to keep us all in the dark. And the real science is used by those in compartmentalized sections of government projects, and they don't allow anyone to know too much. Knowledge is power, and they want to hold all the power. What we have to do is collect facts and develop our own power, because if you wait for them to hand power to you, we will never have any power. Now back to the question, when will the earth changes begin? If you are asking this question, it shows that you already don't know enough to grasp the concept of an object coming in. When did the baby develop? Well, it started out with 2 cells and they doubled. Then there were 4. When did apples first appear on the tree? Well, they started out as flowers and a bee landed on them, and that started the fruit. And it was tiny at first, and it grew larger as the months went by. You don't have to be a lizard named Lacerda to understand that. Now, do you? Things develop over time, and by the time you can see the apple, it's almost done. By the time you can see Planet X, the show is almost over. In the background, I'm playing a crescendo for you to give you the idea of an object coming in. As that sound increases in volume, that's like the gravity and the electromagnetic effects are getting stronger. So please try to understand this analogy. That sound has been developing since I started talking. The volume will grow till you can't hear me no mo. The beginning of the effects of Planet X started a long time ago, perhaps 1830 years ago, when it was just making its turnaround and coming back at us. Planet X was here in the past, and the ancients talked about it in the Colburn Bible, and many, many other recorded documents, if you care to research them. This object will not hit Earth because it's like 2 bullets flying past each other. What is the chance that the 2 bullets will hit head-on? Very slim. It happens, but very rarely. What's more likely to happen is 1 or more of the trillions of objects in the tail of Planet X will strike the Earth as a meteorite. It could be a small fragment, or it could be the size of Alaska, and we could have thousands of both. I don't know, but I do know that our scientists are tracking the largest of these objects, and when I go out at night, I frequently see meteors streaking across the sky, and I noticed that they are on the rise. And people are writing to me to tell me that meteors are on the rise where they live too. I'm in the desert. We don't have clouds. We don't believe in them. They're like light beer, mostly water. And we don't drink light beer here, where the sand lizards are near, and the drinkable water is what's most dear. Not high in the sky where the turkey vultures fly. When we look up, we can see entire constellations most of the time, and I watch Orion cross the sky, and I can tell what time it is by the position of Orion. I can tell what month it is, too. In February, it's right overhead at 9 p.m., and by November, it's overhead about 3 a.m. I see Venus, and it's brighter than I've ever seen it, and I know that something is going on up there, but I haven't quite figured it out. If Planet X is real, that would explain almost everything, but as time passes, it's going to become more and more obvious. At some point, the puppet president is going to have to declare martial law and announce that we're in for a ride like we've never had. And all the executive orders point directly to a Planet X existence. And some of you light beer drinkers out there are implying that all the planets are in exactly the same position every time Planet X passes, and this is simply not true. You are saying that Planet X passed many times and we're still here, therefore it's not a big deal. Well, if Planet X comes closer to Earth this time and causes the Van Allen belt to collapse, and your butt gets fried with microwaves like a turkey that's been in the oven on high for 4 days, then would you believe me that Planet X can pass the Earth on a different path each time? Or are you going to hang on to your poor reasoning and insist that each time it passes, all the planets are in the exact same spot? Make up your mind. The changes you are expecting are coming slowly with exponential growth. Soon you will not be able to deny the existence of Planet X if it exists. If you're collecting the facts, you're a real scientist, even if you haven't had 1 day of instruction. Collecting the facts is what real scientists do, and the light beer drinkers just invent the science as they go. They reason not on sound reasoning principles, but by their gut feeling. Your brain is not in your gut, it's up your nostrils, if you want me to be blunt about it. Take a long needle and poke around up there, you might find it. It's not in your gut, trust me. Stop using your gut to think. Your ideas are, well, shitty. You're full of it. You haven't a clue about Nibiru, and you don't know what to do. So you launch your attack on you-know-who. I'm the guy who came to broaden your view and let you know what I learned about Nibiru. And all I get are attacks and insults from you. The sound in the background is growing louder, as you can hear. This is what happens as Planet X gets near. When it gets about this loud, it's time to stock up on beer. So rush over to the store and buy ahead of those who don't feel the fear. Then run to the caves to avoid the microwave sear. Be sure to have adequate supplies of real beer. I'll see you next time. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.